Okay, good morning guys. So we're going to talk about a couple of ways that we store line on the deck. So one of the things, if you read an Ashley Book of Knots or whatever, this is called a flake. Most people don't talk about flaking lines now, they call it faking. Like you're faking something, fake down the line. I think the original translation of that was flake. I don't call it flake, I always say fake down the line, but if we're going by the terminology that's the true terminology, it's called flaking down the line. And so there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can find in the Ashley Book of Knots or in other publications or the way that people do it. But if I wanted to have something nice and neat, we do this method so that we can, when we're underway, we don't stow our lines down below. So what we'll do is we will make them off, run a line through this side, run a line through that side, and lash them off to a handrail or something like that, and that works good for us. So when you're making this up, you want to make it up from the bitter end, and the bitter end would be down here, the last piece. Everything is going to lay on top, so when I pull it off, there's no knot, it doesn't get knotted, it doesn't get all messed up, it just lays off nicely. So as I feed it off the top, it just starts to feed off evenly, right? So as I'm doing that, I get these nice, it comes out nicely, if that's gonna say. So I'll just show you, I'm not gonna take the whole thing off, but I'll show you how we do it. So we'll bring it over the top like this, make sure it's laid in there nice and like that, and just keep continuing to lay it over on top so that it doesn't get knotted, make them the same length. Okay, and we're gonna fake down the lines on deck, make them look nice, okay? I'm not a super stickler that they're all exactly the same length and that kind of stuff. I want it to look neat. I want it to be nice. Sorry, usually this is like a two-person job, but it works out well here. And then this would be the end that I'm pulling from or working with, right? And as I pull it off, again, out here is the bitter end. This is what I'm gonna be left with behind at the end right here. Just a nice way to make your lines flaked out on deck. Nice and neat. And again, so if I pull, I'll be pulling from this end. This would be the part that I'm going to use or pass over. Maybe this is what my mooring eye is on, right? And I'm going to pass this over to the pier, and the end is going to be what I put to make up my bits and cleats, right? So I flaked out the line right there. Again, it's not a very hard process. With mooring line, it's going to take more than one person usually. I mean, two people can do it, but it's easier with one person, okay? So if I'm gonna do a loose fake, a lot of times when we're getting ready to moor, I would rather have it in like a loose flake or a loose fake. And so simply all I'm gonna do in that, pretty simple. If this is my side, this is gonna be my bitter end right here. The one that I want to, we'll make it here to the set of bits, right? I'm just gonna make bites, nice tight bites, right? And again, I usually do this with two people, right? This being my bitter end that's gonna go to the bit or the cleat or whatever. And again, we're not looking to win prizes or contests here. We're just looking to get that line set out on the deck in a loose fashion. I would make this one right here. Let's see, let's make it look semi-nice, right? I don't want it to look like terrible. Right, so then this would be the part that I'm gonna pass over, right? The last piece, the eye that I might run through the chalk, through an open roller chalk or a closed chalk or something like that. I'm gonna get ready to pass this over, right? One thing that I tell my students, if this is a taking over the deck, don't step on it. Don't get used to walking on top of line, okay? Just always treat it as live. If you can walk around, walk around. Now, sometimes you're not able to avoid that. I understand that, but for the most part, don't walk on the line. If I walk in here, right, I'm walking in the bite of a line, or if I'm standing in here, I'm standing in the bite of the line, and I just don't want that. So anytime my lines are out on deck and they're faked out or that kind of stuff, I don't want people to walk on them or stand on them or be near them because it's just good practice, okay? So we want to avoid that. And we'll talk about a coil, right? You see this a lot of, you see this on a lot of sailboats, things like that. so we can coil from the inside, right? You can make this nice and tight, right? As soon as you get to a point where your hand can do it, depending on what your surface is, if you got like a concrete pier, it might not be so easy to do, but pretty easy. Now you want to be careful if you're using 3-strand to make sure that you're going in the direction of the right direction. If it's right lay, you want to go clockwise. If it's left lay, you want to make sure you're going counterclockwise, right? But this is a really nice, pretty way to make your lines look nice on the dock. It doesn't take much to just, before you leave or whatever, just coil it up real quick. On a side note, I know people that have made mats like this. They either sew all the way, each of them together, or you could take hot glue or some kind of adhesive, and then you got a pretty little mat. But that's another way to, especially if your line is already made off to a set of bits or a cleat or something like that, and you've just got that extra line hanging out, you could go ahead and do something like this, just coiled up real quick. So again, just a quick demonstration if I'm going to talk about flaking out the line on deck, right? So what I would do, this is going to be my bitter end, part that's going to stay behind, right? I'm just going to give it a little twist. I'll do this in a short one, right? Make it nice, lay it over like this, right? I don't even have enough really to demonstrate here, but now it's nice and neat. I just pull from here, and now this is going to go out to wherever I need it to go, to a pier or to somewhere else, and then I have this end left behind to use. I hope that explains a little bit for you guys what I was trying to get and show about different types of flakes or faking, and then also a coil. There are many ways to do it. People have a lot of ways, different ways or adaptations of that. I'm just talking about textbook style faking out a line. All right, guys, thank you again. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in a bit.